Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Standard 81 podcast. I am your host, Sincere, and I am back. Happy Thanksgiving to all you guys, and Merry Christmas for those that celebrate Christmas. I am back with another one-on-one with my man Mike, and as he gets ready to come up, we will be with him in just a second, and I think that is him. So, without any further ado, I'm gonna get Mike up on the stage, and we are going to talk.
I'm about to plug these headphones in. Phones are plugged in. Oh boy, this is crazy. This is nuts. This is nuts. Such is life of a dad and a husband, man.
So while we're getting started, let me just introduce. This is Mike, Mr. Mike Precise to be precise, and we've known each other for a while. He known me when I was young, like stupid young, and
Yeah, and
we have recently reconnected.
yeah.
Mike, welcome to the podcast. What's up? How you feeling?
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. I'm feeling good. I'm banging. I got a little fold out chair. I'm getting ready to sit down right here. Oh man. Oh, my homie. You like my background, man. Had to set this up for the occasion.
Hey man, I'm with it, man. All I do is turn on a bunch of lights and try to make myself look good here.
Oh, hold on, man. I think I gotta go sideways on the port. I gotta switch up and go portrait, right?
I can see you. We can see you just fine. We got a good picture of you. It looks
Bink.
good.
Okay, that's a little
Now you're
better.
full size. You good?
That's better. That's better. Oh, okay. I gotta represent my which way? There we go. You see?
There you go. I see it. I see it. I see it. I like it. I like it. I like it. So we're getting into this tonight. This is one of the things I like to do on Saturdays is the one-on-one shows where I interview one of my friends or somebody that I know or admire, and we just talk about life. We talk about different subjects, but tonight specifically, we're going to be talking about the culture,
Mm,
the impact it has on today, hip hop music, and the faith, and see how all that stuff is not only affecting society but affecting us as the older generation, and if they're what the problems are and what we can do to correct that. So, but
yeah.
before we get started any further, why don't you start with telling us a little bit about yourself and your background, and maybe some of the things you got going on currently?
Oh, well, I guess I'm real comfortable with sharing my age now. A lot of as you're getting older, you realize certain things about yourself. I'm big on being honest with yourself.
Hmm.
So, on that note, a I guess I'm in OG status.
Okay.
Uh, I'm 54. Um, when I was much younger, coming out of high school, I got into a group, um, and that group was called the UBC. And what was that? Was 18, 19, 20 years old.
Okay, so for
And
those that don't know what the UBC is, and correct me if I'm wrong, you were in the same group that my now Pastor George was in.
oh, that's later.
Okay,
That's
okay,
that's this is UBC is pre-salvation.
okay, okay, okay,
Uh, pre pre-save.
okay.
Um,
Got you,
so
got you.
coming out, yeah, I was definitely not serving the Lord. I was, yes, very much serving myself. Um, but no, it was they were very fun years, um, very formative years. Um, I'm still in I'm still in touch with my old dudes. We read again, man. This is look. I don't know about anybody else, but um, your friendships are valuable, whether they're old friendships or not. Whether you haven't been in touch with your peoples from when you was maybe in your childhood, if you've had good experiences and, like I said, formative experiences, things that still apply to your life to this day, my advice: reconnect with people that meant something to you.
Mm-hmm.
Reconnect with people that meant something to you. You don't have to talk to them every week, even every month. Just let people know you love them. That's what I've been doing. It kind of feels like, yeah, you sound like you're getting prepared to die. No, no, it's not that. Oh, you just getting, you becoming an old dude and you want to make things right. No, don't. Maybe I'm prophetically hearing um, fake excuses and things that people project onto you. That's not it. I just recognize I just recognize who I am and the things that are important to me in my life, and I just want to make sure people know that I love them. I may live to 95, maybe they won't.
Mm. That's a good. That's good. That's good.
You know what I'm saying? Getting up in my age, we losing people, man. I'm losing people.
Yeah.
So that dawned on me a few years ago, and I'm like, yo, I need to make things right. And it's not even really such a thing as making things right. People just need to know that you care about them.
True.
People just need to know that you care. I have gotten a little bit more sentimental, but again, that's just being real with myself, and I'm probably gonna repeat that a lot tonight. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, man, I was in this group with my friends. One of my friends formed a group with one of his friends, and we all became friends. And we did some stuff together. We made an album. We made 2 videos. We initially got a deal with, you remember the audio too, Milk and Giz.
Yeah.
Milk is chilling, isn't okay? We they were starting a new label back
Wow.
in those days, so we initially got signed to them. It went bad.
Mm.
Um, so got out of that, and then then eventually got signed to EMI Records, which
Oh
was
wow.
much bigger label, but they didn't know what they was doing because hip hop. You gotta think about it, man. I mean, this is still hip hop wasn't new, but with big labels who hadn't had rap artists, they didn't know what they was doing.
Right.
You had other labels that were more known for hip hop, your Def Jams and you know type labels like that. That yeah, man, they've been had rap artists, you
Hmm.
know. But that's you think about it, that's only like a handful of labels. The
Right.
your majors, no, that's when majors were doing deals with smaller independent labels.
Hmm.
But if that wasn't the case, they didn't know what they was doing. So anyway, I'm not even the one to talk to about that. My dudes that formed the group, they you
Hmm.
know they focus more on the business part of stuff. And dude, I was 19 years old, man. I didn't care. I was like, we got a record deal.
Yeah.
uh, just let me do some dancing and go everywhere for free and do all this stuff for free and get a little check, and I was good. But
Right.
I should have paid more attention to the business. But you live and learn. It was a great experience. Um, and one day, super fast forward. Um, some things were happening. We had some gaps in time to where in between shows, in between so I had like a we got to a point where I had like this 3 week period. I was sick also at the time. I had some kind
Mm.
of virus or something.
Mm.
And my mother, this is kind of getting into my testimony actually, but my parents had moved to
Hmm.
Florida. They were already in Florida. My mother and my stepfather and 2 sisters, right? I'm the oldest.
Right.
And so they were gone. I can't move to Florida. You know, I'm trying to become a rap dude, man. We got
Right.
we got deals. We move and shaking. I can't move to Florida. So I stayed in New York. I moved back
Right.
in with my grandparents
Mhm.
in Queens, in St. Albans, Queens, or really Springfield Gardens, Queens. And um nah, so I didn't go to Florida. What I'm going to Florida for? So well, gonna leave the group. What am I do? That's ridiculous. So yeah, picture. Come on, 19. Why am I doing that?
Right. Right. Right.
Um, so a lot of things, super fast forward. Um, I get a call from my mother, and I'm assuming you generally have a Christian audience.
Yeah,
Um,
I got a good mix between the two, but I don't shy away from my Christian views at all. So
okay,
feel free to
so
share.
and then but you never know if somebody who's not really, feeling Christianity or Jesus or nothing like that. You're not really feeling that.
Well,
Maybe
let
somebody's.
me pause and
But
take a brief intermission here and let the audience know that hey, if you're listening to this right now, I am a Christian. Most of the people that I have on have Christian views. So if you don't like it, it's not for you. Turn it off.
nah, don't turn it
But
off.
that's
Because
the
you
way
may
I
hear
feel
something.
about it. Turn
No,
it off.
because we're not because sincere, man. We're not tight dudes, man. We're not tight Christians. we're not, but we're not the type of people that's gonna get out here and argue with you.
True.
And yes, we believe that uh, Jesus is the way, capital THE. We believe that.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
know that.
100%.
But we don't believe it just because we want to believe it.
We know it to be true.
Yes, it's like you've been persuaded. You're confident
Mm-hmm.
because of things that have gone on in your life. God shows Himself to you. God proves Himself to you. And I was definitely that type because I was, you know, I have a historically Christian family, um,
Mm-hmm.
but but I'm an '80s guy, man. I'm an '80s kid. This is if y'all really go back and do your research on stuff that was happening in the '80s, dude. That's the rise of the skinheads. Go back and watch like some old Oprah episodes, and she had
Mm-hmm.
skinheads on there. Yo, we thought there was gonna be a race war in the '80s. No joke. We thought
Ah,
this was going to be a race war. All of the 5% nation, Islam. Dude, this was before Million Man March. This is before Million Man March with uh 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 um. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna do this 100 times tonight, forgetting names of people. But y'all know who I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking
yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I got you.
This is Public Enemy days, man. This is the almost like a secondary Black Power movement, and
Right.
from 60s 70s. That's who we were. We was my high school. We was Milton, especially me in 11th, 12th grade. We
Mm.
was about to man. We was in an uproar. We was still young and ignorant, but we did some things, made some moves in my high school. It's pretty much all black. I mean, you can count white folk on one hand.
Wow.
Um, but that's the area I'm from. I basically mostly grew up in Hempstead, but I still have my family in Queens.
Got you.
Hempstead is on Long Island, if y'all don't know. But so I'm sorry, brother, I'm zigzagging. But
It's cool.
yeah, I just been thinking about a lot of these things and trying to remember some stuff, because since I knew I was going to be on with you. But because a lot of this stuff I haven't had to really even think about in so many years, just about like what I was saying about reconnecting with my peoples and stuff like that. That's been good. Um,
Mhm.
but man, when I got a call from my mother, when like I had this little interim period, between shows and stuff like that. So I got a call from my mother one day, and a lot had been leading up. As I look back, when I look back, there's things that were leading up to this call. Um,
Mm-hmm.
when you're in a group of guys or girls, it don't matter. It don't matter. When you're in a group, a lot of times, you get little schisms in a group, little fights and skirmishes type thing. And I was typically the guy like in the middle, like trying to make everything, trying to smooth things over between brothers and stuff like that. Even if somebody was mad at me, I'm like, let's make it better because we was experiencing life together, man, in another level. And so it's
Mm-hmm.
important to it's us, man. We gotta stick together. You're gonna,
Gotcha.
we're trying to do this thing, man. We can't split. And then here come I get this phone call, um, and from my mother, and she tells me this dream she had about me. I'm not going to go into the details of the dream, but
Mm-hmm.
it was a very enlightening but also frightening dream
Mm.
that she had about me.
Mm.
Um, and she told me, Michael, because they've asked, she was trying to get me to come to Florida previously, but then she pretty much stopped because it was like, my mind was made up. Like, why would I do that?
Right.
She told me, just come for a little while, go back home. Right.
Right.
I'm sending you. I am preparing right now. I'm going to get you a train ticket, and you just take the train, ride down here to Florida. You can
Mm-hmm.
go back. You can go back. Right. It's like, okay, I could do that. Right. So in my mind, I'm coming back anyway. So I didn't tell nobody nothing.
Right.
I got home, and by the way, I got this phone call at my homie's house, at my boy's house,
Mm.
because I had ran through the little bit of money that I had, and I ended up getting the phone cut off at my grandparents' house.
Mm.
So, but this was back in the days, there ain't no cell phone.
Right.
You know,
Landlines only.
we talking 80, the end of 80, no 90. We're talking 1990, end of
Okay.
in the beginning of 90, pretty much. So I just went home. I started walking. It's only one block, one house away. Dude, as soon as I started walking, I just, I just all of a sudden was so overwhelmed. Um, and I just started just crying like crazy. I'm like, yo, what's wrong with me? Why am I feeling like this?
Mm.
I just felt sad, like it didn't feel not like somebody died sad, but just
Mm-hmm.
like grief,
Wow.
like what is happening? I just was bawling, and I
Mm.
had to get myself together before I walked in the door. Because it was my grandparents, um, my aunt, and my little cousin. We all we lived all in the same house,
Right.
and I'm like, let me calm down. I don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all I know is just what my mother's words was just running through my head,
Mm.
and I just went in. And my grandmother looked at me like, "Yo, what?" And I just went straight to the room, started packing. I told her what was going on. I'm gonna go to going to Florida, going to Orlando,
Mm-hmm.
and asked my grandfather to drive me to the train. Because he had to. You got to drive me all the way to the city, all the way to Manhattan, to
Mm-hmm.
time to Grand Central Station to catch the train there, and then go. It takes you the Long Island Railroad. Well, anyway, you could get Amtrak basically from there,
Okay. Amtrak. Okay.
and it
Gotcha.
would take you all the way to Florida. So I did that. Basically, the second day that I got to, or that I was in Orlando, uh, God completely gripped and arrested my life
Wow.
um, in a church service.
Mm.
And I'm like, know what's going on. Like I said, it's not like I did not know anything about church, but
Right.
I did not know anything about what was happening to me. There was no, which is one of the things, man. It's like there was no talking me into this.
Mm-hmm.
There was no prepping me. There was no, no mind games.
Mm-hmm.
This was I'm going I'm going from the streets of Queens to the streets of Lake Mary, Florida. It's culture shock, man. And
Right.
the church was, if you remember the Orlando Christian Center back in the
Yes.
day.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Come
Yes.
on, man. That's like 95% white.
Yeah.
Nine,
Oh my
nine, nine,
God.
nine,
Whoa.
90, yeah, 95% white. So
Yeah.
it's like, it's not like I did not know how to conduct myself around other people. I was raised
Right.
that way.
Right. Right.
Uh,
Right.
but dude, that's not my growing up existence. You
Right.
know,
Of course.
my world was completely flipped. I'll go from 95% black to 99%
Shit.
white
White.
and Spanish too, because we talk about Orlando.
Right. Right. Right.
It wasn't that I felt out of place, but
Mm-hmm.
at the same time I felt comfortable because
Mm.
of what was happening inside of me.
Mm.
And so, you know, time passed and I called my dudes and I'm like, yo, I don't think I'm coming back. And plus
Jeez.
I hadn't told nobody. I didn't tell nobody nothing when I left. So
Jeez.
for like a week, 2 weeks, nobody knew where I was. So I
Jeez.
mean, I finally let somebody know. I finally let them know. Cause dude, after I got like, what am I telling them? What am I telling them? Yo, I went to church and this crazy thing happened to me, and I didn't know. Come on, you don't know what to say at that
Right.
point.
Right. Right. Right.
You don't know what to say at that point. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I did my best to explain. Um, and yo, the dog, yo, they understood, man. And um, it's just so happened that the UBC group, fell under. It's called Runaway Productions. Fell under the production company. The production company
Mm.
is what was signed to the label.
Wow.
So because because my guy structured it that way, it didn't
Mm-hmm.
cause it didn't cause an issue with the label.
Okay. Good.
Because if each because it's five dudes in a group, if
Mhm.
each individual person had signed to the record company, that would have been a problem. That would
Right.
that
Right.
would have
Right.
been
Right.
that would have been a legal problem. But
Mm.
since that wasn't the case, it was like, okay, well, we'll let you out of the contract with, because the contract was with the production company where I signed.
Right.
What each of us signed. The production company was made up of two of my guys, that the two dudes that formed the group in the first place,
Right. Right. Right.
right? And then so the goal was, see, at that time, man, people was up on the game. So if you started a production company, now you got your own. If you wanted to be a soloist, and then you had other groups, that other guys with you, and this is how this is how people was getting out the street,
Right.
right?
Right. Right. Right.
This is how people that was doing illegal business, which I was not one, but this is what was happening,
Yes.
in '80s. People was understanding how the game went. After you realize, especially when dudes were already went through, maybe had one album, two albums, and you on your second album. Some guys like, you know the older school dudes, Run DMC and them. That's a no whole other situation, because they you know they had Russell and what's the face, what's my man, white dude, um
Um.
Yeah,
I know who
come
you're
on.
talking about.
I know the
Oh
names.
God.
It's just, yo, I blame it on 54, man. I blame it on the 54. There's too much stuff.
Too
Too
many
many.
things to remember all at
Yeah,
once.
all of the neurons, all of the neurons are not firing and connecting to each other. But anyway, different. Some people, if you do some searching on other artists,
Mhm.
some of more famous note that okay, like De La and them,
Yes, De La was
even Jungle
definitely.
Brother, you find, Arabian Rakim, EPMD, uh, even like I don't like to focus on the super famous ones. I like to
Mhm.
remind people of the, you know, other artists that were around in that time, and
Mhm.
they didn't. It looked like they was making a lot of money,
Right.
but they wasn't. It's the record company was putting up lots of money, and then you got to recoup that money. You have to make the record sales. Brothers was making money off of shows, and even during
Right.
that time, everybody's not getting 10 G's in a show because
Mhm.
you're not the big famous artist yet.
Right. 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 Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like that. Just because you got a record deal don't mean you was making a lot of money, man. A lot of dudes was fronting. We did. If you saw people, some of these artists, if you seen them, you run into dudes on the train. You run into dudes on the street, and I'm like, dang, I felt embarrassed because sometimes, I mean, if you was doing an interview,
Mhm.
if you was doing an interview on radio or some promotional stuff somewhere, you in another state. If you're in another state, you can get away with it. You can say whatever you want. Ain't nobody gonna see you at home, so you can say, uh, you know, yeah, I got a Benz and yeah, because that's what these interviews, these radio people would be asking, yeah, because they was all into the what we call flossing.
Right.
It was that was a part of the culture, which we gonna end up talking about. But
Right. 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 Right.
dude, you can say whatever. But when you get yourself caught up and you saying that at home, which we did, it's like, yo, you gotta. I remember telling people I had a, what did I say? Um, once a couple times I said, because we were always, I don't know, it just went in a line. Since it was five of us, if one dude lie,
You
everybody
all
got to
got
lie.
it.
Everybody got to lie. So my man Ian, he said he had an Audi. He had an Audi Quattro. He would throw that in the songs. Audi Quattro. He had no Quattro. The only person that had a car in the group was my man D Nasty, and D Nasty had a Nova. He had a muscle car. And nobody had a car. I had cars before. I bought a car from a friend that was a drug dealer, and I bought the car for $50 because he didn't care. He didn't want it no more.
Right.
Um, I ran that in the ground.
Mhm.
Used to park it around the corner from my house so my mother wouldn't see it. uh, uh, then I did finally have a legit car and ran that in the ground too. I didn't know what I was doing. You 17, 18 years old. You just little dummy.
Right.
Um, you know, but it was fun days though, man. It was fun days, and
Yeah.
you do learn a lot, and um, you see how people are. I'm definitely biased against the entertainment industry. It's just because of how a lot of people act. Um, so when I have a bias, I'm going to say, yeah, this is how I lean, man. This is how
Right.
I
Right. Right.
lean
Right.
because of what I saw. Um, but I wish I would have been more understanding and wise
Mhm.
because that affected a lot of some decisions that I made. Like,
Mhm.
maybe I should have stayed more in music because I felt in the 90s, when after I was living for the Lord and everything, I still stayed in I didn't stay really very much attuned to what was happening with um, regular hip hop, secular, we would say.
Right, right, right.
You know, I still paid attention a little bit, um, but you know, I was dude, I was in the book, man. I was in church, and I started serving, and eventually I started doing outreach, um, and uh, there's a gentleman, is the Rick Wagner, Rick Van Wagner. Um, he has a big church in Claremont now. He's
Okay.
a pastor, been a pastor for years.
Right.
But back then, we were in the same church, and in the college and career age group meetings, and he was serving. He was in leadership, um, and he found out I could rap. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't remember how, but he said, "Hey, why don't you get on the outreach team?" And because it's come on, this is basically a white church, and y'all want to go in the hood,
Right.
right? Y'all want to go in the hood and preach. So guess what? Hey, he's he's saved for real, and he's learning the Bible. We're in classes together. We're in doing this stuff together. This guy has his act together, and he can do this. Hey, hey, Mike. Why how about joining the team? And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, yeah. It's not like I ain't been on stage before and rap in front of people.
Right, right, right.
Wasn't scared of that. I've been in front of 3,000 people before. I think that's the
Right,
biggest. I think that's the biggest crowd with three to five or something like that. Okay, no problem. I could do that.
right.
Um, but I ain't got no music. So there's another brother that was a little older, and so we would just get together, and he could rock just beats on the drums, just straight beat, and me rhyming. And
Mm.
then my man Kevin. You remember
Yes,
Kevin, right?
yes, yes, yes.
I brought Caleb. I brought Kevin because Kev was, me and Kev had became friends, and I said, "Yo, man, come do this outreach stuff with me. We just get on the stage, we do a little bit of preaching, because I was preaching, and
Mm-hmm.
just preaching to people a little bit, and do two joints, two little whatever I wrote, and and have Kev spit a little bit. I wish Kev was here. I mess him up, but I mess him up. I was like, Kev, remember you were scared. You were scared, Kev. Remember? But that was good because we was doing it on the Christ side of things
Right.
and getting used to it, and it was raw, man. It was raw, and Christian stuff was super corny back then. And I ain't scared to say it because everybody knows it's true.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It was super corny, and I met. Oh wow, I'm about to really mess. Um, I'm rambling. What are we gonna talk about, man? I'm sorry. Let me shut up. Let
Okay,
me
cool.
stop right now.
You know
I'm
what?
gonna stop right now because I was getting ready to call out a name of
It's
of a
cool.
group
It's cool. We, I
of a
guess
of a
we
group.
should. I
I was
guess
getting ready
what
to
we
call
could
out a
do
name.
is go into let's first go into the impact that today's hip hop has had on the culture. So I'll say this and then I'll let you get in. From what I am seeing as of today, I see a lot of the younger kids who have been privileged to grow up with parents who've come from what you have come from,
Hmm.
all of a sudden wanting to be what their parents were. They want to be gangsters. They want to live the drug life. Woo, woo, woo. And it seems as though the culture right now, especially in hip hop, is just going backwards. Women
Yeah,
seem to be wanting to be overly sexualized, but at the same time, they want to be highly respected. The guys want
empowered.
to, the guys want to be gangsters, but yet they want to be seen as intelligent brothers. What do you think is going on with our culture today?
Um, so again, we always say God is not the author of confusion, right?
Right.
So if I I like logical things, right?
Right.
Um, you know, Christians have Christians have the stigma of being, oh, it's just, you know, all thought and rationality goes out the door. Just take the leap of faith, and you know, you just believe it just because you believe it. That's dumb.
Yeah, that's truly dumb.
So so yes, we ought to use our minds. So
Hmm.
everything you just said, man, I've been really kind of on that that in particular, because if God is not the author of confusion, what you said, those things kind of oppose each other. You know what I'm saying? You can, like, some brothers, the dudes, some of these dudes that are getting okay, okay, look at like 50, 50.
Hmm.
Yo, respect. You still
Right,
a
right,
street.
right.
You still a
He
street.
was
You are a street dude. Street don't ever leave you, especially for the stuff that he done and been through.
right, right, right,
But the brother is smart. You start. I mean, we don't know. Maybe he still walk around with a fat chain sometimes, and maybe he still, maybe he still sagged sometimes. But you don't ever see him like that,
right.
right? Man, what's dude, my man, King of the South, um,
Ti.
Ti. These dudes is, and I mean, of course we know, Jigga, Nas, the dudes
Hmm.
that's getting a little bit older. Well, Jay is my age, like
Right.
maybe like a couple years younger. Yeah, he's
Hmm.
a couple years younger than me. But still, it's the same kind of age group. I don't know how old 50 is. Is 50-50? I don't know. It's 50-50.
50 is getting close. He's getting close to that age if he's not already
50-50.
there.
Yeah, he's getting there. And then because he's a 2000s dude. Ti
Right.
is a 2000s dude. He's not, he ain't come up. He wasn't a 90s dude. Anyway, but still, these brothers is building empires. Diddy's my age. Uh,
Yes.
you know, these you change, you progress. Um, I don't even want to use the word progress, because when you progress means you didn't. Well, no, no. I mean, I could use the word progress. You didn't know something. As you're moving forward, you learn new things, and then you change a little bit, and you
Hmm.
change a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. That's what maturity. That's what maturity does. But when
Right.
you're trying to, but when you're trying, but when you're progressing, but then you're still trying to hold on to something that was 10 years ago.
Hmm.
Why? I don't understand. Why? Why are you still trying to look and act like you don't like you don't have a $10 million net worth now?
Right.
Why are you still trying to look? I mean, as far as rappers and people in entertainment go, you
Hmm.
know, dog, you have responsibility. I don't care what you say or what you think. That is what is true.
Yes.
You have
Yes.
responsibility now. Yeah, you definitely want to hook up your boys, you want to hook your family up, but then if you still keep going and you progress, you make your mill. Now you at 5. Now you at 8. You at 10.
Hmm.
You at 15. You at 20. You know, we neither one of us are there. I ain't, brother. I'm still trying to get out
No.
of debt. I'm still trying to get out of debt. So if people think that, oh, you don't have that, you don't know what you're talking about. Come on, brother. All it means is you see things and you understand it, and there's wisdom. If you actually
Right.
open up and crack that Bible, you will see that. Just because wisdom doesn't, okay, wisdom can lead to wealth, right?
Right. Right. Right.
You read Proverbs. Wisdom leads to wealth, but Everybody wise ain't rich,
Right.
right?
Oh my God. Thank you for saying that.
Everybody wise ain't rich. So you can be
Mhm.
wise and not rich or wealthy. That just means you understand how to apply the knowledge and understanding that you have.
Right.
There's understanding. There's knowledge, then there's understanding, then there's wisdom. You can have knowledge and you can have
Hmm.
understanding, but then you don't necessarily have wisdom.
Hmm.
The wisdom comes when you know how to work your knowledge and your understanding. You understand how to make it work. We have issues. Sometimes we have issues that we got to get over, and that's another thing I want to touch on is genes and genetics. And I challenge you and anybody else that's listening to study a field called epigenetics. Maybe we'll touch it a little bit more. All right. Um, there's boy, I'm
Go
rambling.
into it. Go into it. Just
But
to give us a little taste of it.
okay, but you know how we everybody knows the term um uh 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 uh, uh your family curses, right?
Right.
Your you think basically you know what that is habits that typically run in your family that
Mm.
now they've fallen on you and
Mm.
you find yourself doing it too.
That's
That's
crazy. That makes a lot
that's
of sense.
that's all that's all these your curses.
Mm.
Who cursed? I mean, was there a witch when you was a baby and when you was in the hospital some witch came by and did he did that and now you cursed? No, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if y'all don't like that, but I understand more now. Remember, knowledge, wisdom, not knowledge, understanding, and wisdom.
Right.
I found out some information, knowledge, right? I had to take time to really let it sink in and do some more investigation that leads to understanding,
Hmm.
right? And then what do I do with it?
Mm.
How? How do I make? How do I first of all how I apply it to my life? Does it apply to other people's lives? How do I work it? How do I implement? Right? That's wisdom.
Right. 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 Right.
That's wisdom. Just because you know something and you kind of you getting to understand it, don't mean you really know what to do with it. What are your actions? How are your
Right.
actions now? How are your decisions now? That's the wisdom part, right? That's what I'm trying to teach my sons, right?
Right.
This is you got to apply, right?
Right. Right.
Just because you got a master's degree, you still working at Five and Below, well, Marshall. Those are not horrible jobs, but you gotta
Right. Right.
you done been to school. Oh, I can't find the job. Okay,
You're not applying your knowledge.
yeah. So find out how other people getting higher paying jobs.
Right.
People got them.
How do you do it?
Yeah. Now it's about okay. What is there something I'm doing wrong?
Mm.
Is there something? Maybe I'm not doing something wrong. Maybe there's just something I've left out. You
Mm.
gotta ask yes. You gotta ask questions. Like I said, you gotta be honest with yourself. All right, but I'm zigzagging. So this thing, one of the things you said I've been on, has come up in conversations I've had in the last couple days, well, a few days. And when you think about the culture and especially in music and entertainment,
Right.
um, and you see how people are acting, um, it's getting, if you want to get tattooed, fine, bro, but you tat it all over the place, nothing really wrong with that, you do you, but um, I don't know, man. I mean, how you gonna? Is that gonna apply to you? I mean, think about your life later. I mean, it doesn't. It's okay. I mean, I don't really see. I don't get into these arguments about if tattoos is wrong. My thing, and this is what God is concerned with, is why.
Right. 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 Right.
I don't care. I have no judgment to give you because, dude, people want to label, oh, this dude sold drugs. I know dudes that sold drugs, and they was good dudes.
Right.
You know, you still doing something I don't agree with. Oh, you gotta feed your family. Oh, you gotta feed. Okay, but other people, people are struggling. People are struggling. They still kind of feed their family.
Hmm.
You gotta sell drugs. That's you. I'm a still, you still my dude. I love you, man. Um, you just choosing to do something that I don't think is right. But I know you, right? If we start to peel that stuff away, I know the kind of person you are, right?
Hmm.
And let's just hope that God sees it that same way. I probably we'll
You
see.
50-50 on it. Right.
All I know. Look, man. At the end of the day, do we trust this book? You got to dig to make sure, right? You do.
Right.
You do, but people stop short. I always say dig, man, and people think that they know. People make a decision. People make a judgment, and
Hmm.
a lot of times you judging. A lot of times, people accuse Christians of judging them, but you judging the Christians.
Hmm.
Um, and you basing Jesus off of what other people are doing and saying, which they're wrong too. But look at the book.
Right.
Look at the book. And so people are saying and doing stuff that um, it's it's not really God's way,
Hmm.
or the things that or the things that He expects of us because He told us. You got to be able to put things together. Um, so how culture is is acting, I look at it from a combination of God's word and from history,
Hmm.
um, science,
Hmm.
um, how we're made matters. That's why I touched on the genes thing, the genetic thing,
Right.
epigenetics. Ep, when we say generational curses, part of that, yeah, is spiritual. Part of that, yeah, is
Right.
spiritual, but it's also physical.
Right. Right. Right.
It's also physical. I seriously challenge more of us, especially Black people,
Hmm.
to look into what is epigenetics.
Mm.
Just YouTube, man. Just YouTube. And you don't have to only listen to the Black people. You
Right. 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 Right.
don't
Right.
only look. There's been studies with the Jews.
Right.
There's been studies with with Jewish people and people that were in the Holocaust, and
Mm.
then they studied their children,
Mm.
and their children were showing emotional signs and depressions and stuff like that, and they weren't there,
Mm.
but their children were having bouts of depression. Um, uh, maybe they wasn't poor people. Some of them, I mean, because I forget how big the study was that I heard of. Well, I'll go back and I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Um, but yes, you got to listen to what your own people are saying, but don't only listen to what your own people are saying. Then you're not well rounded. That's not a
Yeah.
fuller. You need a broader, fuller understanding of how it not on, how a subject not only affects you, but how it affects white people. We get mad at the education that we had, right?
Mm.
But guess what? It's the same education white people had.
Right.
They got the same
Right.
books.
That's crazy.
It's the same
Yeah.
books. It's the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
books.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, they're gonna be rah rah gung ho America, but we gonna see it from a different perspective as we do, and be like, yeah, man, rah rah gung ho America. Which there's a lot of us that's like that too.
Hmm.
But dude, it wasn't rah rah in my neighborhood. It wasn't rah rah when people. I don't know about you, bro, but I done had white boys throwing stuff at me, calling me nigga. I'm on my bike,
Wow, that's crazy.
and this is in New York. This is in Hempstead. We're right outside of Hempstead, anyway. But you know, everybody don't have the same experiences.
Right.
So your experiences do affect how you see the world. Your experiences do affect how you make decisions, how you make judgments,
Hmm.
right? And if as you get older and now you're raising your kids, right? You're framing their world,
Right.
right? Whether you know it or not, you're framing their world, and those behaviors, it really affects your genetic code. It really does. If you look into this epigenetics, it's amazing. It doesn't literally change. Like it's not. Your genes. Okay, you got your father's nose. You got your mother's ears, the
Mm-hmm.
eyes. Your you know your pops maybe don't have wavy hair, but your mother's grandfather had curly hair. Oh, and then the curly hair comes out on you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
You understand what? Okay, we that's our basic understanding of genetics.
Right.
But but it is proven, homie. Trauma also gets handed down. The effects of trauma also get passed down generationally. Generationally. So this is going to be a kind of a touchy thing. What I'm gonna say, but I have I have seen this.
Mm.
I have seen and experienced this with a family that in a former ministry that I was a part of. Right,
Mm-hmm.
grandma was raped
Mm.
as a girl. The daughter was abused by her husband.
Mm. Mm.
The grandbaby, the kid that I had interaction with because I was youth, working youth ministry. The
Right.
kid, right? She got touched by somebody.
Mm.
That's 3 generations. That's
Wow,
three
that's heavy.
generations of trauma.
That's heavy.
In my own family, I have a family member who um, trauma with with her father,
Mm.
um, and there was an uncle that I never knew that died in Vietnam. That really messed up the family because the way he died was completely wrong.
Mm.
It shouldn't have happened. It's not like he was on the battlefield and got shot up or blown up or something like that. He he died of a sickness
Wow.
that he was supposed to get care for,
Whoa,
and
that's
they
crazy.
and the government was just messing up and slipped up. He was supposed to be in one place and they put him somewhere else,
Mm.
and he died as a result of it.
That's crazy.
Dude, that messes you up when it's like, yo, my kid died and it was an accident. That messes you up, especially if it's your first child.
Yeah.
And then that brought schism between my grandparents.
Mm.
Eventually, right? I'm sharing stuff because there might be one person watching that's like it's going to cause them to think and reflect on their themselves and their family, or maybe
Right.
somebody that they know that they can help, right? So you be able to try to step out of the picture and look at it like you watching TV, and just watch objectively. Objectively, try not to have an opinion.
Mm.
Try not to that's really hard for people these days. That's another
Mm.
cultural problem.
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
that you don't understand how to remove your own bias. Like I said earlier, if I'm biased, I'm gonna say I'm biased.
Hmm.
But if this is a direction that you want to go in, I'm gonna tell you, okay, this is what I saw as good, and this is what I saw as bad. I'm not gonna just tell you my opinion.
Hmm.
It's something you want. It's something you want to do. You want to try it. I may have had a bad experience with it, so I'm not gonna just talk all only bad about it.
Right.
You want to try it, so I'm not gonna only talk bad about it. Let's bring that back to people. I said, I knew some dudes. I knew dudes that sold drugs. You know,
Right.
dude, this one dude that was there was one dude that was notorious drug dealer. Step to you, he will knock you flat out. There's a
Jeez.
dude, and I was cool with him. Dude, if I'm walking and he saw me, he picked me up, give me a ride, which was dumb because if he got product in his car, we all getting arrested. but but guess what? Guess what? This brother is married to basically high school sweetheart. Well, he was out of high school. Um,
Right.
sorry, but as an example, just I'm giving you an example. I've been married 27 years. He's been married longer than me.
Wow, that's crazy.
We've been married longer than me. I think him and Lord, I can't think of his wife's name. It was one of my classmates. But they've been married for like probably maybe 30 years, man. 32. And this is a dude that was a drug dealer, knocking dudes out. And
Dang.
back in the day, we talking the 80s. You can't, you can label people, but you
Hmm.
just can't write off people. You can't make a judgment and then seal the envelope. And no, man. People people are people. People can be rotten. People can change. People can be, I don't know, man. Your experiences can alter you for good or not, man. For good or bad, and or in between. There is a
Gotcha.
lot of gray in life, and we just have to accept that.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of
So,
gray.
I want to transition into the next thing. So,
Mhm.
let me draw a summary to what I think you're saying. I think you're saying within the culture, there's a lot of things that happen that some of it is not our fault.
Yes,
Yes,
exactly.
there's some things that are our fault, and we need to personally take accountability for that and own
Yeah,
up for that.
yeah,
But there are some things that happen through our genetic line
yes,
that are passed on from generation to generation, and that can explain some of the confusion that we're having out here today with the younger people because it's coming from a line of trauma and drama.
yes.
Am I correct in saying that?
It's yes, it's definitely combinations of things.
Hmm.
It's combinations of things. It's not one thing. And that's another societal cultural thing, you know. People want you got to pick a side. You have to
Right.
make up your mind. Um, you know, but that's not entirely real. That's not entirely real. Part of that, yes, but like as I said, man, there's a lot of gray to life. There's a lot of times
Is
with the good. There's a lot of times with good. There's bad. Even the parable that Jesus gave. Wanted to the servants wanted to rip up all of the weeds. This parable of the wheat and the tares, right?
hmm
The parable of the wheat and the tares. The servants came to the landowner and they said, Master, there's who put you sowed good seed here. Where did the tares come from? Where did these weeds come from? And
hmm
what did the master say? He said, it wasn't us. An enemy had done this. He said an enemy had done this.
Right.
And then so they said, oh shoot, so should we go ahead and start pulling up these weeds and pulling up these tares? And he said, no, leave them. Let them grow up together.
Yeah, together. Yep.
And then in the harvest time, we're gonna get it all up together, and then you're gonna go out and you're gonna sort through.
Sort
You're gonna
through.
take
Yep.
now you're gonna throw the weeds out, and we're gonna keep the
This.
we're gonna keep the crop, right? And so that's kind of my mentality. That's
Okay.
kind of my mentality. We're all growing up together. Yo, man, we I got a line in a rhyme I wrote. You know, what is it? Um, uh, from Alexandria Cortez to Sean Hannity. We're all in this together. Something, something. Humanity. It's a rhyme I wrote a while ago. But
Okay.
it's two opposites. The opposites cop and fits. It's all monotonous. It's really just a lot of this rottenness in the politics. It's 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 just the rottenness. But guess what? There's good there.
Yeah,
There's good
there's
there.
definitely some good.
There's good there. People, Trump is a lot bad, but he's maybe not all bad.
Right, right, right,
Biden is
right, right.
there's good there and there's bad there. There's good. It's just this is not. I get in. I really try not. I don't like to talk about politics because nobody sees things the way I see them.
Right, right,
Very few.
right.
Very few. This is not our system. If you're a believer,
This is not.
this is not our system. So yes, we should participate in it. We should participate in it, but it's not ours. It's really not for us. We're just living here.
Right,
If you understand what if you really believe what the word says, we're 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 sojourners.
right,
We're
right,
pass
right.
we're passing through now.
Yep.
So, we want things to go well. Yes, yeah, we want there to be righteousness in leadership. Yes. But is there really
Right. Everybody has their negatives,
just
and
mhm.
I've
just
said
just
this.
just because somebody is, they're voting not to kill babies.
Right,
I'm down. I'm
right.
down. But if you let's take a microscope, is there any other wickedness that is going on? Because there's wickedness everywhere, and there's like
Mm-hmm.
I said, there's good and there's bad. There's good and there's bad. I don't know where that could not be. So yeah, that doesn't get good responses. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to argue and fight with somebody and lose a relationship because of their political views.
That's
I'm
crazy.
not. I'm not. I'm not. I just won't. I just won't. I know you. I don't know them. If I
Right,
know
right, right, right,
you, I know you. You don't know these people on TV. I don't care
right,
what. I don't care what position, Republican, Democrat, in between, Green Party, whatever, whatever. I don't know them. I
right,
don't know. I don't know what kind of person that person is. I don't know what they were doing in the '80s, the '90s, and
right.
'80s. They weren't riding with me, right? So they can say whatever they want to say. We
Mhm.
all know if you ask anybody on the street, anybody, do you believe everything that a politician says? No. Who will say yes? Nobody. Do
Nobody.
you believe everything you hear on the news? No.
No.
Everybody will say that. So why y'all mad?
Mm.
Why y'all mad? Y'all losing friendships and relationships and family members, and Thanksgiving is bad now. Christmas is bad now because of politics and people's policies.
Yeah.
Dude, do you not realize that? Okay, when look at Daniel. Daniel was my favorite Bible character. You don't see
Mm-hmm.
nothing negative about Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even pick nothing that Daniel did wrong in the book of Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
You can't find nothing on Daniel. So to me, okay, yeah, we love David. David jacked up a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
People died because of him, but God loved him, right? My the person up on the highest pedestal to me in the Bible is Daniel. Daniel was a government official. Let that sink in. Daniel became a government official in his day. And he went through different uh, 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 um, kings. He
Mm-hmm.
lived a long time. I forget how many. Um, uh, uh, um, what would we say? Uh,
I think
terms.
it was like four different kings or two.
Yeah,
I think it was three. I think it was more
he was an
like three,
old
three
man,
different
and
kings.
and everybody trusted him,
Mm-hmm.
and he still had, and he had haters because he was so trustworthy. But
Mm-hmm.
did he say, I can't be a part of this administration because all of y'all are wicked? I can't
No,
be
he
part
never
of this
said that.
administration. All of y'all are wicked. Y'all are taking the items from my God's temple and playing with them. Y'all are playing with holy stuff and putting liquor in them and doing having your orgies and all this other stuff. Did Daniel say, Daniel bust up in the room and say, you know, when the writing was on the wall, did he put a spin on the writing on the wall?
No, no,
When the writing was on the wall, did he put a spin on it
no.
and put his own interpretation and his opinion
Right.
to the when the angel put the writing on, when God put the writing on the wall, he didn't put a
Mm-hmm.
spin on it. He just told them what it was
And then bounced.
and bounced. And they still trusted him because that's just who he was. And they understood. They understood because that king's daddy had him, and I think the king before that daddy had him.
Got you.
So I use certain things as a model. If we go to New Testament, go to Paul. Yes, Paul argued. Yes, Paul argued.
Mm-hmm.
But who was he really arguing with? He was arguing with the religious people who got the
Right.
gospel, and some of them probably got the gospel from him and from other, other disciples. And by that time, but that was still new, fresh time. So who he had a problem? Who really did he have a problem with? He didn't really have much of a problem with them Romans and the Greek. He didn't have that much of a problem with them,
Right.
right? He claimed his citizenship. If you look at the politics of his time, he claimed his citizenship because at one time he was doing wrong. One time they wanted to usher Paul out of the city because they realized that he's a citizen. So let's keep this hush, and because they put him in jail wrongly,
Right.
right? So they wanted to keep it low and usher Paul out of the city so nobody found out that they broke the law themselves. And so Paul
Right.
was like, no, no, we're gonna do this. We're gonna go through the system the right way,
Right.
right? And so he did that. S-
In the world.
But it's like, dude, if they wanted to kill him, they could have killed him.
Right.
What's gonna happen? What they gonna what you go by, yes, you go by the laws of the land, but the leaders don't always go by the laws of the land themselves.
I got you.
So then what do we do? What do we do as Christians? We're gonna get up and, y'all are wrong. No, 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 no. Okay, let's bring it to John, Jesus' cousin,
Mm-hmm.
John the Baptist. If y'all didn't know, yes, John the Baptist was Jesus' cousin. John
Yeah.
the Baptist spoke out against the king because the king was sleeping with somebody else's wife. I think it was. Lord, wow, man, my mind. Boy, I'm blaming it on 54. So, but yeah, John got killed for it.
Yeah.
John got his head cut off.
You got to pay the
Um,
cost, man.
ultimately, yeah, he paid the cost. A lot of prophets got killed.
Mm-hmm.
And Old Testament wise, prophets got killed, but they was killed by their own people. Um, sorry, because people, you speak out, you have a word from the Lord, and the word is y'all. It's not peace and prosperity. It's God is about to judge you, and people
Yeah,
don't like
you're
that,
about to die.
right?
Yeah.
Yes, but so guess what? The reason why I bring up both, why I started with Daniel and then Paul, and then now you get to John, and John gets killed for speaking against. Guess what, man? Those are two things.
Right.
What Daniel could have done, he didn't do. All right. Well, Paul could have sat there and just kept arguing with the people.
Hmm.
He didn't. Why do Christians feel like we just have to be argumentative all the time? We got to get
Sure.
out in the pub. We got to get out in the public square and fight in public square and fight every. It's to the to the unbeliever. All it looks like is that we're just being fighting and we're angry and hypocritical. With
Yes,
to
and
the unbeliever. Go ahead.
that brings me right into that next point. I only got one more point after this. So in you talking about this brings me into that next point. How do you think us as Christians are affecting what's out here in the world? Do you think it's positive? Do you think it's negative? And if if one way or the other, what do you think we can do better in order to make a more positive impact on the people out here? Because right now we're either being seen as overzealots, or we're being seen as passive pushovers.
The passive pushovers, yeah, that's you being a punk. I'm sorry. You don't. I mean, come on. I mean, if just say what you need to say, like what I'm doing, like what I'm doing now. My friends know that I'm a believer, man.
Right, right, right.
But I'm not gonna always be like, you know, dude. If you haven't become a Christian yet, then we can't keep talking. What kind of fool? That's stupid. Come on. you don't believe the way I believe yet. I can't keep, really?
Mm.
Nah, man. And but then on a more public scale, you have big name preachers that it's like they scared, man. It's like they scared to really talk. You didn't Jesus tell the disciples, basically, Mike's version, don't worry about what you're gonna say. The Holy Spirit, the Spirit of God, will teach you and show you what you need to say in that time, in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all, if I mean, if you, I mean, if you have the Spirit of God, maybe you should kind of make sure you are learning, make sure you're filled with understanding and knowledge and wisdom and His Word and everything like that, and trust that He'll show you what to say at the right time. Yes, get prepared, but any preacher will tell you they get prepared, and then you get up in the pulpit or you get up in front of somebody and you say something else, or
Mm.
you say a little bit of what you prepared, and other stuff just starts coming and flowing. We can do that, right? Can't we do
Right.
that? Instead of you get in on TV or some interview or somewhere, and you feel like you gotta appease, say a little bit and then appease people, so they don't nowadays cancel you, or it becomes a big fight. A little bit of fight is all right, but I'm not gonna get out here and just make enemies
Right.
and then call it I'm being persecuted because I said something dumb.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I said something offensive. And then, so what do you mean? What's offensive? Oh, the gospel is offensive? Yes, the gospel is offensive. It's supposed to be. It
Yes.
is.
Yes. 100%.
But if I say things that start sounding personal to people, that's offensive. And that ain't got nothing to do with the gospel.
Mm. That's
That
good.
ain't got nothing to do with the gospel. If you start saying stuff about, you know, people with same sex attraction, or these people that are, you want to be all these different types of trans and all this other stuff, they don't. Father, forgive them. They don't know what they do.
Right.
They don't know. The gospel is supposed to. They are blind to it. The
Right.
scripture
Right. Right.
tells. The scripture tells us it's gonna sound like foolishness to them. It's gonna sound like foolishness to them. And then honestly, if you want to really get real with the scriptures, some people's eyes is just closed. Their eyes
Right.
are. Some people's eyes are just closed, and they're meant to be antagonists. Judas was meant to be an antagonist.
Right.
Sorry. Some people are just meant to be an antagonist. Some people are meant to see how you respond. And we all heard preachers preach that before. Some people are meant to push you to see how
Right.
you're gonna respond. And you could be like Daniel. You could be like
Mm.
Paul, right? Paul told Timothy, the minister, the servant of God is not. Oh Lord, I need to pull that up. I need to read that so y'all understand that it really is in the scriptures. But it's in I think it's First Timothy or Second Timothy. The Lord's servant is basically not to just be argumentative.
Mm.
We're not supposed to go out looking for arguments.
Right. Right.
You know, you defend people. This is an American thing, right? You're making the scriptures like it's American. You're making Christianity like it's American. It's not. We gotta be rulers. We gotta conquer. Yes, we're more than the conquerors. Yes, but remember, you're a sheep.
Right.
So you're a dove. You're not the serpent. You're supposed to be wise as a serpent, but you're not the serpent.
Right.
You're the dove. The dove represents peace, right? It represents the spirit of God. The spirit of God who can be grieved by us, and our behavior. So there's so much to put together. You know, we're supposed line upon line, precept upon precept, right? You don't pick and choose. You don't pick and choose what word you're gonna run with. You run with the whole word. Um, and if you don't know, keep your testimony simple and keep your mouth closed.
Mm.
Because Paul also said we are to live a quiet life.
Yes.
We are to live among others and be at peace. If it is all if it what does he say? If it is all possible with you, be at peace with all men.
Man. Yes, I just read that a couple of days ago.
And we're not supposed to be out here fighting and getting people mad. If it happens, it happens.
Right.
Understand? If it happens, it happens. Right? But I'm not getting out here losing relationships and friendships. I'm not doing that. How is it? How is it that you are a testimony to people if you just if in but if in defending the faith, right? Defending the faith doesn't mean fighting. That's an American thought. That's a
Mm.
Western thought
Mm.
for a word that's not Western. It's not. Y'all know this. You have to admit and see things for what they really are. And I'm real big on this. Be honest with yourself stuff, and step out and really honestly look at your behavior and your stuff. All of this cultural stuff. Culture can only be developed when you have enough people doing the same thing.
Mm.
Right?
That's a good one.
That's how cultures develop. Culture ain't developed with 100 people. Well, culture can be developed if your whole society is 300 people, 200 people. If your whole society is ain't nothing but 200 people and 100 people doing the same thing, it's gonna bleed over into the other 100, right? But
Right.
that's not the case. We're oh gosh, we're built over time, over time, over time, over time, over time. Y'all wonder why why is ratchetness, why do we like shirts that say savage on them? You will never see me wear nothing that say no doggone savage on it. I'm sorry. But I'm stepping over into an area where, you know, I'm saying what I see as true.
Mhm.
I'm saying what I see as true. But I'm not also that person that says, speak your truth. Because to me, that's stepping over a line.
Right,
Your
right,
truth,
right.
your truth, and my truth, and their truth, and his truth. And that's a whole lot of different truth.
Hmm.
How can it really be true? Now we done changed the meaning of the word true.
Truth. Yes.
And that's another
Yes,
issue I
sir.
got. That's another super pet peeve I got with changing what words mean. Changing what words mean. You know,
Yeah, man.
it's like, do we speak English or not? What other language you speak? What other? I don't. I'm not. I'm not bilingual, man. I mean, I know a little bit of Spanish. I knew more Spanish before, but I don't have to really use it. So, I don't only speak one language. So will we change the
Right.
language? Come
No,
on,
there's a
man. I mean, I don't.
so this is going to be it for this interview because we're getting into an hour and 30, and I don't want it to be too long, and plus I want to
And I
have.
ramble. I ramble. I'm sorry,
No, no,
bro.
no, no, no. That you had some very good points. You had some very good points because honestly, you answered a lot of the questions that I had jotted down and I had in my mind anyway through you just talking. And this is why I when I do these interviews, I don't speak much. I kind of let the person that's on talk because
Mm.
sometimes in letting a person talk, you uh you you gain the answers
Oh
that you were
man.
going to ask the questions to anyway.
Okay.
I say it's similar to like when I listen to like my grandma and grandpa. So you say,
Yeah.
hey grandma, grandpa, how you doing? And they go on, and at first it seems like rambling until they hit you with something, and you like,
Yep.
whoa, keep talking.
Yep. I ain't heard that. Wait. I never heard that before. I never heard that story before, or
Yeah,
something you can something you can glean.
yeah,
Yep.
you like, whoa, hold on, wait a minute. But we are. I want to save some topics and some more knowledge for the next time. What do you want to say to the people in closing? What is
I'm
it you
stuck.
want the people to really know?
I'm trying to get to. There's a there's there's a book called The Color of Law,
Okay.
by Richard. Why I always forget names of people and things. Richard Rothstein.
Yeah,
Richard
you
something.
sent that to me. You sent that. I
It's a
think it's Richard Rothstein or something like that.
this is an old white man.
Hmm.
This is an old white man. I'm real good for bunny trails, right? Bunny rabbit holes and going down into little caves and caverns, and because of one question leads to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. And this is what I mean by digging. This is what I mean by digging.
Right.
Um, never. I say this: don't decide on something until you have completely been exhausted.
Mm.
Right? I there's Okay. Take it to athletics, right? Here's an athletic analogy. Great athletes work harder than
Hmm.
average athletes, right? You got superstars in whatever pro sport, and then you got bench guys, and then you
Hmm.
got people that don't, and then you got people that don't even make it that far, and
Hmm.
then you got people that are great in college, then you got people who don't get a scholarship, and then you have people who are great in high school, and then you have people who are average in high school, right? You have all these. So I just spit out a whole bunch of different levels.
Right.
Um, so at some point, a person decides, I'm gonna work harder because I want this. I really want this.
Hmm.
I'm gonna work harder. If you've seen any docs on about Kobe, and I'm not a big athlete, big sports dude, but I like to know more about the person, right?
Mhm.
So we all know Kobe's in the gym ridiculously.
Right.
Um, you know, Curry, Curry, come on, man, you shoot all these shots like crazy, 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 taking mad shots. Uh, they are who they are because of the work that they put in, right?
Right.
I am not a scholar, um, but I am curious.
Mhm.
I have a never ending, thirsty, hungry curiosity, right? So I may not retain everything that I learn, but I understand it because I'm I'm a constant learner, right?
Mhm.
Um, I want to know.
Mhm.
I want to know what really happened, right? Uh,
Mhm.
in any situation, and if I feel like I haven't gotten a good enough answer, I'm gonna
Mhm.
keep I'm gonna keep looking, right? My problem with people is that they feel like they got a good enough answer too soon.
Mm.
You feel like you got a good enough answer too soon, and then you make your decision, right? I have a little another kind of a peeve. It's developing into a pet peeve of all this deconstructing stuff,
Oh my God.
and I'm like, dog, you ain't got enough information. You don't have enough. You don't have enough. You don't have enough information.
Right.
Your issues and your opinions are 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 more than the information that you probably have, and you
Mm.
think you got enough. You're still in your opinion.
Mm.
You're still in you're in your opinion, which is a part of your bias. Your opinions are a part of your bias, right?
Right.
My opinions, like I said earlier, my opinions based on my experiences led to my bias in the entertainment industry. I don't trust the people.
Mm.
I'm always gonna think, yo, you may meet some good people, right? And you may make some good relationships, but for the majority, it's just a bunch of shady people,
Mhm.
right? That's a lot of people agree with that. There's a lot of people agree with that, but I'm gonna park right there, and that's my opinion, and that's my decision, and that's why I stay, right?
Right.
I only have that opinion because I got a little taste of it.
Mm.
If I was never in it though, and that's my opinion, then my opinion is not solid. It's just my opinion.
Mm.
If you never been in that business, or if you never really done it, um, you can have your opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but guess what? I'm not really gonna value your opinion, and
Mm.
that's just sorry. I'm just not gonna value your opinion because you know you ain't never made a record.
Right.
You ain't you never made a video.
Mm.
You never signed a contract. You ain't never read a contract. You ain't never, you ain't never been to industry parties and conferences and events and been around and been in the parties and been in, been in meetings if you never experienced those things, but you have an opinion about them, I can't really value your opinion. It's
Mm.
okay. It's okay to have your opinion, but I can't really value your opinion. Your opinion is not based on experience or
Mhm.
because I can tell you something, right, and then you form an opinion based on my experience.
Gotcha.
That's okay, but you don't personally know. So if you have a Christian that's had bad experiences,
Mm.
right, like I'm saying my bad experience with the industry, right,
Mhm.
you have Christians that have bad experiences,
Mhm.
and so guess what, I've deconstructed the music industry based on my I deconstructed. I still am in my bias, no matter how much research I do. I'm still in my bias.
Mm,
Of the information that I'm getting, I'm looking at it through the eyes of my bias.
mm,
I'm looking at it through the eyes of my bias shades. And no matter what I learn, if I dig more, no matter what I learn, I can probably still be in my bias. If I don't acknowledge my bias, I will still be in my bias
mm.
because I've deconstructed. This is what I've come up with in my experiences with the music business, or fill in that blank with church.
Mm,
So therefore, I'm not going to be a Christian anymore, right?
right.
I did not want to pursue even Christian, even Christian. I really didn't want to pursue any music career.
Mm,
Um, I thought about it, like when I was in a group, but we
right.
at one time we did want to do that. At one time
Mm,
we did want to do that. Um, I changed my mind. Still,
mm.
I was the first. If you didn't know, I was the first to leave the group. Um,
Wow.
and it wasn't nothing negative. It's like, yo, I'm getting married. I'm getting more and more serious with my life. And I honestly just don't feel led to do this anymore. And it was hard for me because this is family, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and I mean, this is family.
Right.
We spent a lot of time together and been through a lot of stuff. Uh, you know, so it was hard for me, but I left the group,
Mm,
and eventually a couple of it, like George eventually left too.
yeah.
But but that was because he was going deeper into ministry. It's a different call. So it's not like, I'm sorry, like I said, this deconstructing thing. I I I don't believe people are doing enough. Um, I don't know. I want to say research. I don't know. I mean, I think people are more emotional about it than
Mm,
they are um, rational or um, informational. I don't know what kind of words you tag onto that, because as Black people, we believe that we're supposed to have the religion of the original Black people,
mm.
right? And then our experience in America is so negative, and that white people pushed Christianity on us, which they did. But our first interaction with Christianity was not America. It was not European. Our first interaction with Christianity was in Africa,
Right. 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 Right.
which I'm glad that information is being more and more shared, you know. And no, we're not all Israel. I'm sorry. Every Black person is that. I find that funny. I know my Israelite brothers would, and I say brothers, my Israelite brothers would find that offensive, probably what I said, or they would say, "Oh, I'm ignorant." Um, but everybody ain't Israel, man.
No, you're right.
Culture,
You're absolutely right.
people come in all types of colors and different societies and historic cultures. People blended. We didn't have the same color issues. It wasn't color issues. It was culture
Right.
issues. It was kingdom issues. You're from over there. We're from over here. It had nothing to do with how you look. People know if cultures if there were cultures that really did understand their history, they'll understand that their history was common,
Mm,
right? People understood that that this grandfather. If you were aware, um, you understand the origin of your particular culture, from whatever 3,000, 5,000 years ago.
Right.
But that's a whole nother, I'm sorry. That's a whole nother thing. It's just American black people basically we want to settle on an identity.
Mm.
An an identity, which is messed up. It really is sad. But our identity is diverse as black people, as melanated people come in different ways. We come in different ways because we were pulled from different places,
Right.
mostly West Africa, but we were from different tribes,
Mm-hmm.
right? If your tribe conquered my tribe, maybe your people did look a little different from my people, but it wasn't because of how we looked, why we was fighting. It's because I wanted your land. I wanted what you had. I wanted to
Right.
expand. I wanted to expand my kingdom or
Right.
my whatever. That's why we fought. And then these white people come over here and we done conquered you.
Mm.
So we want what they had. So
Mm.
we gonna give them you because
Mm.
because they want what we got. So we gonna give you you already my slave in Africa. So
Mm-hmm.
you want some bodies? I'm gonna give you the bodies that I got. Right?
Right.
I'm gonna stop. But I just want to. I mean, like I said, I'm not a scholar. You can get somebody else in here and talk way over my head. But I'm always going to let's make this palatable. Let's bring it down to what makes sense and what's more regular,
Right.
right? What's the real talk in this? And we have to dig more in order to do that, right? We're not all Kemet because everybody ain't from Egypt.
Right.
We're not all Kemet. We don't all believe what the ancient Egyptians believe. So that's not the black what everybody black should be. I mean, I don't know if this honestly it makes some of the brothers and sisters that's how it comes across that we should all believe, we should all believe that, or we should all believe the Prophet Muhammad. We should all believe. I'm not sure anymore. Anyway, that's what I used to think. But now I'm not sure if they're trying to say if people that argue these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
These scholars or whatever that argue these things, I'm not sure if they're trying to say as black people we should believe one thing. As in like believers, if you're a Christian, you believe that's it. Jesus is the embodiment of God in earth. That was
Right.
in earth.
Right.
Yes. And what he said goes. He makes the rules. This is God. And he chose that Jesus would be the physical expression of himself.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you believe that, then there ain't nothing else.
True enough.
But if it's whether it's Islam, uh, whatever Egyptian teachings, Kemetic, Kemeticism, um, what else black? Let's just start naming black stuff. It's
Nation of
he, Hebrew
Islam, five percenters,
he had 5%
Hebrew
nation,
Israelite.
Hebrew Israelites. Are they saying that yo, this is the one thing that all black people should believe?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure because I haven't had conversations with anybody like that. I want to, um, you know, because if they say yes to that, then That's never going to happen.
Mm.
That's never going to happen. Everybody's not going to be a comedicist. Everybody's not going to be a 5%, a 5%er.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's not going to be a Muslim. Um, that's just never going to happen. So then what? I mean, everybody's just going to still be mad at Christians because we black and we believe in white Jesus, which we all know Jesus ain't white.
Yeah.
Y'all still mad at black Christians because you'll think black Christians think Jesus is white.
White.
Come on, that's grandma, not me, not us. I hope.
Nah.
I hope we smarter than that. This ain't good. This ain't good times. Where little Michael said, "Why we got white Jesus on the mall, Mama?" Y'all remember that Good Times episode? Man, we smarter than that.
Yeah.
I hope so. I'm
I think
sorry.
so. I think so.
Yeah, you
But
shouldn't
this
have
has
me
been
on.
a no. This has been a great conversation. This has been good. Um, I think that it gave you a chance to share a lot of your knowledge and your wisdom and the things that you've expanded upon. Because honestly, I believe in this culture today, like you said, we do too much from opinions and feelings and not enough from facts, and we don't dig enough to genuinely make decisions
Yeah,
about things before we ultimately jump to a conclusion.
yeah. You
But
find a couple of facts, and it's like, oh, I got it. Say. Wait, hold on. There's more. Make sure there's make sure there's no more. You know what I'm saying? If
yep,
you eating dog, if you get a if you I like Publix chicken. If you go to Publix and get you some wings, forget that, just the wings, right? Let's say you get a
right,
box of wings, and I'm digging in a box of wings and I'm looking at TV. I'm just put my hand in the wing, and you starting to feel full. Oh yeah, that's it. Close the box up and throw it in the garbage. Hold on, man, wait a second. You got like two more wings left in that box. You just threw the box away. It's in the garbage now. You messed up. You didn't eat all of it. There's still more.
right,
There's still more. Make sure there's no more. Make sure there's nothing that you missed. Don't go running off of, a couple more things that you didn't know before. Maybe there's five more things. You thought there was three. You found some more stuff that you didn't know before. Now you the freaking professor and you know everything now. And you're gonna argue with these ignorant, dumb Christians. They don't know what they talking about. Wait, maybe there's more. Some theologian that was talking about something in the Bible and the history, and this scripture was changed, and then this was this was come from this original language and blah 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 blah, and then it's like, see, they changed the Bible. They done changed the Bible. We can't trust nothing. We can't trust it. Hold on, man. Do you even know the scriptures that he's talking about?
right,
Do you even know the scriptures that he's talking about that was changed? Because if you knew some of the scriptures that were changed have no bearing on the doctrine. How about
right.
that? Did you realize that?
Mm,
Do you
mm,
even know? Do you even understand the doctrine before you got mad and left church?
mm.
All you know is that, oh, this was changed and them people was wrong. They lied to me. They didn't tell me the truth. Come on, brother, sister. Find out a little bit more before you make up your mind.
Right.
Wheat and tares. I'm going back to wheat and tares. You're being challenged. You're being challenged. Don't let the enemy pull you out from where you really should be because now you think somebody lied. You think somebody lied. Sometimes you need a little bit more effort and more truth, right? If you think your spouse is cheating on you
Mm.
because somebody told you they saw them talking to somebody in Walmart. But guess what? Maybe you had a little suspicion and maybe it's a little bit of insecurity, and maybe something
Mm.
happened. Maybe y'all was fighting last week, and maybe y'all was fighting the year before that, and maybe y'all was fighting the year before that, and maybe you're feeling insecure,
Mm.
and somebody told you that your spouse was talking to somebody in Walmart.
Mm.
Now they're cheating.
Mm.
Now you think they're cheating. Maybe they're not cheating. Maybe it was a coworker. Maybe it was somebody from high school that they hadn't seen in 15 years.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe they bumped them with the shopping cart. Maybe they're too short and hey, yo, can you reach the paper towels for me? That's happened to me plenty of times.
Right.
That's why I brought it up. That Walmart boy, anybody can start talking to you in Walmart. All kind of people
Right.
be up in Walmart. So, you know, think more. I tell my sons, man, yo, before you get ready to do something, just 3 more seconds. Just take 3 more seconds. Three to 5 more seconds. And that could change your decision. Just a little bit more thinking. Think a little bit more. And that could change your decision. Um, so I guess that's enough for now. We had
Okay.
we had an hour and 45 minutes, brother. Oh my.
Yeah, we getting up there.
Um,
But I want to say thanks for coming out. Thanks for chatting it up with us. I think this was good. I honestly, I'm not just saying that, just be saying that. I think this was good. I think it was great insight. And the more and more we get a chance to talk to you, the more and more we will get enlightened by the things that you know, because we need this. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up so I can get up out of here because I got church in the morning.
hmm
um,
I ain't eating.
and
Me too. I'm a deacon. I got to dress up tomorrow.
Ooh,
I don't like it. I'm a t-shirt and jeans dude, man.
yeah, me too. I love the fact that our church is t-shirt and jeans.
Every
I
Sunday
can't do this
except
Sunday.
first Sunday.
Can't do it. Can't do it. Anyways, well, have a good night, and I will see you on the next interview. I know we're talking about doing a podcast together, and I
Yeah.
will let you know that when the other two respond, and we'll sit down and we'll chop it up and hopefully make that thing happen soon.
Right.
But once again, thank you. Have a good night, and I will see you on the next one.
Thank you, bro.
All
You
right,
too,
man.
man.
All right. Peace.
Time to eat. Time to eat.
All
All right. Good night.
right. Peace. So everybody, that was Mike. Um, let me see if I can close him out here. Uh, that was Mike, and that was Mr. Mike Precise, formerly known as Mike Air, and we had him on for the one-on-ones. I hope you guys got a lot out of that. I know it didn't seem like I did a lot of questioning or talking, but I think what he said was profound. And if you really listen to it, you can glean a lot from it because he has a lot of knowledge to give and a lot more to say. Hopefully, we can have him back on in the future where he can give us more knowledge and wisdom. Other than that, everybody, I will see you on Monday for Monday Memoirs. And that's going to be it. Check out my TikTok at the Standard 81 Podcast. Also, check out my Instagram at Sincere the Artist. And I will see you on the next one. Have a good night. Peace.